All right. Lesson 106, Algebra 1 halfers, page 329. A couple of different things here. We're going to have some negatives in different places. Okay, number one is roots of negative numbers. Now, I hope you remember that we said you cannot have a negative number under a square root. A square root means that there's a little 2 here that we don't write. This is impossible. You cannot do it. There's no answer. The answer is not 0. The answer is there is no answer. It's undefined. Can't do it. Doesn't exist. It is not a number as we understand it. Because there is no number times itself that's going to give me a negative number. But I can take a 3rd root or a 5th root or a 7th root, any odd-powered root of a negative number. This says what number times itself 3 times gives me negative 64. That means there's going to be 3 negatives. That means like negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. 4 to the 3rd power is 64. Negative times the negative is a negative. All right? This one here is what number times itself 5 times is negative 32. Well, the 5th root of 32 is 2. So if I have negative 2 and I multiply it times itself 5 times, I will get negative 32 because there's a negative number. You know what? This, I'm sorry, I can't, wow. These are all the same thing here, okay? When you have an odd root, it doesn't matter. The negative is still going to be there. When you have an odd power, odd root. Does that make sense? I hope you guys are getting this right here. This is times itself 3 times. This is times itself 5 times. That's an odd number. Odd number of negative signs is a negative answer. Okay? I got that? All right, now let's move over here. This is a little bit different. I don't think you've had negative exponents before. This is another one of those things where you really have to listen to what I'm saying. A negative exponent has nothing to do with a negative number. That negative exponent and that negative exponent do not have anything to do with any kind of negative number. What a negative exponent means is to take the reciprocal of it. Take the reciprocal of it. What that means is I want to take this, I want to take the reciprocal of that, I want to turn it over. The way I do this in a fractional form like this is, watch this, okay? I'm going to back off just a little bit. That's what this means. What you're going to do with this, though, is this. If I have this is a fraction, I have a negative exponent on the bottom. To make that exponent positive, I take it to the top. Right here, I'm going to get rid of this one for a minute. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 4 squared to the top of my fraction like this with a positive exponent. Okay, and what that equals is 16. Okay, if I have 4 to the negative 2, I can't do anything with a negative exponent. Okay, I'm going to do the reciprocal. Another way to look at it is I'm going to take it from the top to the bottom of a fraction. So I have 1 over 4 to the 2. Okay, which equals 1 over 16. Okay, I can't remember if you already taught this or not, but I'm thinking we haven't. All right, this is a new concept here. So, best way to think about this is if I want to make an exponent positive, I'm going to take it where it's not. If I want to make an exponent positive, I want to take it where it's not. Do you understand? If I had this, if I have 2 to the negative 2 over 3 to the negative 4, the only way to work this is to make both exponents positive. I'm going to take this one down here and take this one up here. I'm going to have 3 to the 4 and 2 squared. 3 to the 4th is 81. And 2 squared is 4. Okay? I cannot do anything. I cannot work this with negative exponents. A whole number can only be done with positive exponents. Okay? So wherever it's at, you take it where it's not, and then you go ahead and work it out. If I take this up top, it makes that exponent positive. If I had this, if I had 3 squared, If I wanted to make that exponent negative, I'd take it to the bottom. Either way. Does it make sense? 3 squared on top, 3 negative 2 on bottom. Okay? It's a really easy thing. You just got to get a hold of that. It doesn't mean a negative number. None of those came out negative. All right, now this one here, you got to think about this. I want to work this thing out. I want to know what this number is. I can't work with a negative exponent. To make that exponent positive, I have to take this to the top. Okay, I'm going to take everything up there. Nothing changes. It's minus 4 squared. The only thing that changes is when I take it to the top of my fraction, that exponent becomes positive. Now I can work this thing. I'm going to cover this up. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. That makes it negative 16. Now that negative exponent didn't have anything to do with that negative number. That had to do with this and this. That negative exponent means to take this to the top. And then I can do the work. Okay? All right. One more thing here. This is a lot of fun. I've been avoiding writing this down, although we've had it in a couple of places. But I want you to think about this. If you had x to the 2 times x to the negative 2, okay? What do we do when we multiply bases? We add exponents. X to the 2 minus 2, okay? And that equals x to the 0. All right? Now, x to the 0 is not 0. Here's what I'm talking about. A couple ways we can do this. Right here, x, 2, x, negative 2. If I want to make this positive, not this right here, I'm going to take it to the bottom of this fraction right here. Okay, I'm going to make it x to the 2. I'm going to take this one down to the denominator, x to the 2, like that. You understand? Now watch. 2 minus 2 is 0. Any number divided by itself, though, is equal to what? Any number divided by itself, though, is equal to 1. Okay? Any number divided by itself is equal to 1. So here's the deal. Anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. Negative 43 to the 0 power is equal to 1. X squared plus 4x plus 3 to the 0 power is equal to 1. Okay? Kaylee to the 0 power equals 1. I don't care what's in that parentheses. Anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. If it doesn't matter if it's negative, doesn't matter if it's positive, it doesn't matter. Now watch, if I have this 3 to the 0 power, now you got to think this through. Okay, it's right there. 3 to the 0 is what? 1. Negative 1. Okay? This is negative 1 because that's 1 and that's the opposite right there. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay? Anything to the 0 power is 1. How about if we had something that looks like this? Let's see if I can write one of these real quick for you. A couple of you even have some trouble with this too. How about if we have this? We got x, y, 3, y, negative 2, y, negative 1, x, negative 3. All right. What I want to do here is I want to put my x's and my y's together. You understand that? What this equals is, right here there's 1x, 2x, 3x. This part right here is the same as x to the 3. Okay? This is x to the 3. I hope you get that, okay? And if I put it together over here at negative 3, now when I add those two, what do I get? I get x to the 0, which is equal to 1. So this and this together, it's right here, is equal to this, is equal to 1. Right here, x, now I'm going to add these. 3 minus 2 minus 1 is y to the 0, which is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So this whole thing is equal to 1. Some of you have been having a lot of trouble with this. This right here is, if you're doing this thing here, 2x, xy plus 3x squared y. This is 2x squared y plus 3x squared y. X times x is x squared. There's one exponent. 1, 1. Add them together, 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. Some of you one unnamed person that's struggling with this, get a hold of this thing, okay? There's 3, take away 3, 0, anything to the 0 power is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, anything to the 0 power is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. This whole thing, that's equal to 1.